Hi, my name is Fabish and welcome to my project presentation. So you've probably heard about GraphRag. It's a common topic out there trending with Microsoft GraphRag, Neo4j GraphRag, and many others, including RangoDB. But in this case, we will focus on Neo4j. And for the purpose of this project, we're going to use Microsoft GraphRag together with Neo4j. So the Microsoft GraphRag is going to help us index the data and extract entities, and then we're going to store it in Neo4j. Now I have already done that, so but if you want to do that, you can come to this GitHub repository and go to the indexing.readme, and you can follow this through this documentation. It will help you create your own index, and after that you can just run the knowledge graph creator.py, and it will you can pass in your database configuration, and it will upload the data into your Neo4j browser, and it will look something like this. So we have all these entities, and you can extract all the relationships and you can view. Now this is to create like a streamlined way to do a GraphRag, but in this approach we are using two approaches. You either do the entity forecast, which will use embeddings, or the global forecast, which will just query the structure of the graph by providing extra context. Now the difference between the two is entity forecast is more direct, and the global assistant is more of a report writer. It uses a lot of context window and takes more time to retrieve the data. However, so if you want to do the indexing, you can check out through the Microsoft GraphRag, and you can do the indexing, and after that you can use the script to start importing the data into your Neo4j database. Now for the purpose of this, because this project is to be uploaded in AgentVerse, so you will have to provide your Neo4j connection on the front end, and if you did choose a different entity name when creating the entity index in the Neo4j, you can choose here, and once you are done, just save the configuration and it will connect to Neo4j. Now with that, it is safe to try out this application, so I'm just going to try with the entity forecast, which I'm going to say who is Scrooge's best friend. So entity forecast is a bit fast, but probably has less information as compared to the global forecasts. So I have started all these servers in the backend, and so there is the local one, I call it local search, which is used just entity forecast, and the global one, which is queries the structure, and then the user agent that navigates through the two agents. So here we have some information, and we can switch now over to global assistant and save. And by the way, these agents are already, you can find them in your once you have the API key, you can see them in your local assistant. And as I'm speaking, it's rather safe to say that I'm using Azure OpenAI, but if you wish to use OpenAI, there is you can check the documentation too, and you will be able to see how to use the API. The documentation I mean the README or the indexing README files in the repository. So this project is supposed to streamline the process of GraphRag. So indexing, however, is done locally, and then you can upload the data into a persistent database in Neo4j, whether it's Sandbox or Neo4j Aura. or wherever you wish to upload this information. So as I said, the global assistant takes a bit more time, but the information it provides is a bit more broader. So we can check to see if there's any data. Not yet, still. Okay, I'm just going to try this again. And it did send back the data. So you can see the global RAG is a little bit, has more context than the local RAG, which uses only vector, but the issue being it takes a lot of time to retrieve the data. So feel free to try this code out, change anything to your custom, and be sure to like this project in the dev posts, and most importantly, try it out and let me know your feedback. So thank you. All the code is provided in the GitHub repository, so in the event that you have your documents, you can index them inside the folder RAG test, and input, you can have your documents here and let the Microsoft do the indexing for us. So the outputs are the ones we will use to do the search importation to Neo4j database, and read through the code and let me know if you run into any problems. So try this out with your data and let me know. Thank you. Bye.